Hello, YouTube. After some consideration and someone pointing out that those other rocker arms were prone to failure, somebody had told me that the pins had a bad habit of walking out on the roller tips here. And so I did not want to experience that kind of a failure because that's the kind of thing that leaves you with a destroyed engine. If this pin here walks out and the needle bearings for this roller here fall out and travel down to the oil pump and get picked up by the oil pump, it's game over for the oil pump at the minimum. I mean, it could be turned into the kind of thing that you have to completely remove the engine, completely disassemble it, and hopefully, the worst thing that you have is a bad oil pump. And maybe the rocker that did it, but that's just too much, way too much. I've got way too much time and effort and money into the rest of this thing to be, hanging out there on what ifs. So I went and purchased some competition cams, roller rockers. These are the, let's see, Pro Mag 1604-16. And boy, they're very nice. Very, very nice. My only complaint is that several of the rocker nuts had some machining debris in there. And I mean, one of them, I had to sit there and fiddle with it for probably 20 minutes before I got out a little itty bitty chunk of metal shaving that was hanging up the poly nut inside, and it wasn't allowed to turn free. And then I had another one that was kind of a little janky, and I did the cleaning procedure like they say, and soaked them in lacquer thinner and blew the snot out of them, and then oiled them and all that stuff. But it just, I don't know. That was my only complaint. It was just a little bit of debris in the threads, but I didn't have to send anything back, so that's good. My push rods all cleared out, the same, so I'm good. Technically, these rocker arms need a little bit longer push rod, but I'm just going to stay with the push rods that I have. I think they'll be just fine. And I've been running the priming the oiling system here, and I got good oil pressure, 50 psi, just with that old drill that I have. It's a very old drill, and but 50 psi, and everything's oiling really well up here, so no complaints on that. And I don't know, I think they look neat because they're nice and small and compact. I have not yet checked to see how well they work with the valve covers. I'm hoping that they fit a little further down, and maybe it's maybe a little bit less interference than those other ones. But I just couldn't. I sat there and thought about it, and I thought, you know what, it just isn't worth the risk with those. And I really, I don't know what happened to the guy, but something happened. He's not on my page anymore. I don't know what happened to him, but I can't remember his name. But thank you very much, sir. I think it was Anthony or something for pointing that out, and I appreciate that because but these here have really nice pins that are peened really, really well on both sides. And let's see if I can get a focus here. Focus camera. So I am running the 200 thousandths long push rods. Like I said, they're a little bit short for this application, but that's okay. My geometry still works out really well. And I mean, it's not that much that they're too short. So I'm just going to stay with those. And but the geometry worked out really well. One of the things that was commented on was that that my contact is way out here, and hi Benny, the contact is way out here. In the traditional school of thought with a regular stamped arm, you do want it to be closer to the inboard side of the contact, but proper geometry calls for setting up the geometry and making sure that the push or the rocker arm, if you can draw, and I posted in one of my other videos, if you were to draw a line between the center point of this and the center point of this pin, imaginary line. In fact, you can kind of still see my pencil line there that I drew. You want that to start off with to be halfway at the halfway point of the half of the lift, to be level at half the lift, and then it's going to, of course, the tip's going to roll out a little bit. As long as you're within 20 thousandths of the outboard of the tip, you're fine. It'll be fine. And I posted another article in one of my previous videos about that supports that. But Straub Technologies has an excellent YouTube video on how to do the geometry, how to set up your geometry. But anyway, these are 1.52s, so just technically a little bit longer, but really nice, compact, very beautiful rocker arms. So I'm really tickled with those things. I think they're worth the money to. One of the things you don't want is you don't want a failure. You don't want something that's going to take out your engine, like a rocker arm that's not made well. Now, there's a good chance for the amount of lift that I'm running that those other rocker arms, I might have installed them. You might have ran this thing till the rings wore out and not had any problem. I mean, there's always that possibility that they might have been just fine. But there's a big difference between might and where we're at now. I don't like taking that much of a gamble with things, and I'm glad that somebody else had spoke up and said something about this. So anyway, I mean, they sure do look pretty there, but I just wanted to show y'all. Have a good day, guys.